Hey, welcome back to the shop. My name is Doug. I've had a couple requests to do the review on those 20 volt Bauer tools I got. I've had them a year and a half now, close to it. I got some video. I think I got a little video clip at about 3 or 4 months into having them, and I did one the other day which would have made them over a year old, and I got a few other things that I'm gonna look at, and a tool that I did buy that I've been using for a little bit now. So yeah, here's your review on those tools and a couple others. Update on the Bauer Tools. I have recently bought a grinder. It's okay. It stalls out easier than, say, the Milwaukee, but it works pretty good. I have upgraded to the bigger batteries. A lot better. Bought this little light. Yeah. There. Plugs right into the battery. They work great and stay lit for hours. The impacts are really good. This 3/8 one fell off the machine. Took about an 18-foot drop to the concrete floor. Works great. The drill, garbage. The chuck won't hold anything. It doesn't take much pressure for it to like overheat. You know, the motor gets warm. There's something in the electronics that will shut it off for a few seconds. It'll do that all day long. Yeah, I'll never buy another drill. They're not worth the time, and they also drain a battery quick if you're drilling anything over 3/8 of an inch. So yeah, I've got several batteries now, so I keep them charged and everything working. And I work around a lot of ammonia nitrate, so everything's got like an oily film on it. Everything rusts, so I think this is about the best application for testing them to see how long they last. They're just covered in sweat. Other than that, not too bad, other than the drill. I'll keep using them. They're about 3 months old now. Okay, here's a little over a year update on my Bauer 20 volt cordless tools. Half or 3/8 impact still works fine. I don't use it that much. I don't use it as much as I thought I would, but it's used at least one day a week. It might see 4 hours of work a week. Grinder I use all the time. A little weak. You got to let the blade do all the work. It's not like my Milwaukee that it'll just plow through and it only stops when the blade gets jammed. It kicks out. This will kick out just cutting with too much pressure. The drill, it's still a piece of shit, but it still works. I use it for plastics and wood. That's all it'll drill. Real thin metal with a good bit. A 1/2 inch impact works great. No problems out of it. It gets used maybe 8 hours a week. And the little nut driver doesn't get used very much at all, but I'd say it's probably got 3 or 4 months use out of it so far out of the last year. So there's my year, and well, this is damn near year and a half. Well, I've had them for a hot minute, and they still work great. Okay, I got the Bauer concrete drill. I haven't used it yet. I bought it for a job that I haven't had time to go do. I've seen some other reviews. It's a nice drill. I mean, I did buy the Warrior brand bits. For what I need to do, these will get me by until I can buy a proper set. These are just regular steel with a little piece of high-speed steel brazed in. As long as you don't force it, push it, you know, you let the drill do all the work, and these will last a decent amount of time. Like if you're building a building and you got some anchors to put in, I'm sure this bit would probably last long enough to do 50 or so anchors. You know, I did get the Warrior brand, the longer set, from 5/16 to an inch. But on these, I know, let the drill do the work. Most people think they need to lay on this thing to get it to drill. Whenever they're laying on it, it's because there's no tip left on it. I mean, I've got some somewhere in a box that actually got diamonds on them. You know, they're pretty high dollar. I mean, one drill bit of this size would cost more than this drill and the bits. But it's not too bad. It does have the shock absorber in the handle. You know. So basically, you put enough pressure on it, you know, and it just keeps your arm from, you know, vibrating so bad. I'll get it plugged in here. Okay, it's got a switch back here for use it as a drill. Flip it over to there. I don't know if you can see that. That's in the hammer mode. And I'm not for sure what that is. Okay, then that's for your, like a chisel. It doesn't spin, takes it out of gear, but it'll let it hammer. So if you put the chisel bit attachment in, you can chisel away at something. Flip it back to there, and they're back to drill and hammer. You have variable speed on the switch. I don't know how long that would last, the way they're probably wired in. Yeah, because that's just taking voltage away from you. It's regulating the voltage. So it's probably really not all that strong. I mean, you probably can't. Yeah, you pretty much leave it up on maxed. That way it flows through the switch. I don't think that would last very long. And as for the warranty, this is where you put all the grease that keeps all the hammer parts lubricated, and I imagine eventually it'll go down through the spindle, and that way it keeps your bits lubricated also. And it comes with a little can of grease, Chinesium stuff. I'd probably clean that out and put in some better grease, some lithium or something to put in there. But there's that, and once I get to using that for a while, I'll review that again. It's got a little extension or a gauge, height gauge, depth gauge, I guess you call it. I'll go in right here. Something I've never used in my life is one of them. Well, there's that. And then the other tool, this is the corded version. I got this at the Black Friday sale when it was like $36, $37, something like that on the Black Friday. I really like this. This is basically a copy of that Milwaukee. Other than the button, I don't like the off-on button, and actually for the home gamer there's no regulation, so this is okay. But if you have a business, OSHA won't allow this type of switch anymore, at least not here in Ohio. I imagine it's probably nationwide, but just because this has a lock on it, I've seen more people get hurt with this kind of switch where they don't realize, because I mean they're holding it and they don't realize it's on, and that grinding wheel or cutoff wheel catches something and flips, and you let go of it and it's still running. That's the only thing I hate about it. I'd rather have the flappy wheel or something like that on it. The flapper paddle switch, whatever you want to call it. You know, and I do buy when they're on sale, when I got a super coupon. You know, they're like all last summer for about a year or so, 2 years, they were having these at 99 cents, limit of 4. I was buying them, my limit of 4 every day for, you know, during the whole use of that coupon. So I've got stacks of these. I think they're like, I think the best coupon I've seen on the flapper wheels is $1.99 or something like that now, which is still cheap compared to a $7 other brand kind, you know. And honestly, those other ones last longer just because they are thicker. There's more paper, more sandpaper to them. But honestly, I've even bought one and used one, and for the price of it, I think I went through, by the time I used up one of the high dollar ones, I think it was like $7-8. I think there's even some that cost a little more than that. I used that up, and then I timed it on how much time was put on it, and it was mostly cleaning up parts from my plasma table. So like on, you know, these are some squares that I burned out and I welded together, but when I cleaned up all the dross and everything off of them, I keep track of the time. I actually used 3 of these discs to their 1, and at 99 cents a piece compared to their over $7-8 flap wheel, this is still the better buy. And I, you know, to match that price, I could have went through, you know, 7 or 8 of these at the same price and still got more use out of them probably. But anyway, that's just a rant. You know, why people say these are junk and they're so cheap is because the others are just thicker and they don't near last as long compared to the dollar amount wise. You have a stack of 5 or 6 of these sitting beside one of theirs. These are going to last longer than that expensive one. And then in the other videos that I showed, you know, all the plastic grip moldings, I'm going to show you, like here's my Milwaukee stuff. You know, this is the first generation M18. So these are about, what, 8, 9 years old, something like that. I mean, stuff like this, I got another one that's, it's all missing. But, you know, all this rubber injected molded stuff comes off like overnight, even on the Milwaukees. You know, here's a fuel. It's on, you know, maybe 5 or 6 years old. You know, the whole back of it is coming off. You know, and honestly, the hell that I'm putting those Bauer Tools through at work, I'm in oil all the time. That's what I do. It's industrial waste oil. So we're bringing in oils, waters, and stuff like that from other companies and treating it to where it can go back out into the environment or recycled or resold. We pull oils out of everything, and then that oil will go to asphalt plants for their burners to make asphalt, to cook it, you know, stuff like that. So we are recycling, you know, 90-some% of what we do probably. But those Bauer Tools, they really hold up. I mean, like I said, I do not like the drill, but it hasn't broke yet. So for the home gamer, it's probably it will just be just fine. This thing here, you got to put a lot of pressure on it to get the motor hot enough to stop. And it's very hard to do that with that Bauer drill. Hell, just a fart in the wind would make that thing stop. But this grinder here, I really do like it. It's got tons of power. It doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't sound cheap. I know if you're into grinders and have a lot of them, you'll notice like the Warrior brand, the Harbor Freight. I love those too. I mean, those are perfect for around here, especially when I get the super coupon to where they're $9.99. You know, I'll buy 2 or 3 of them. You know, they do not last very long. The longest I had one last was 5 months. But for $9, and this in the Milwaukee brand is what? Oh, I don't even know. Say it's 150. You know. But that drill is also going to last probably, a few years, you know, unless you're having it out on a job every day, even like this. If around my shop, I think it would last here several years. If I took it to work and used it, and it got used every day, you know, doing, you know, cutting metal, you know, and then grinding where you get it hot, you know, it would probably still last a year. But I bought the warranty or the replacement plan with it. So within that year, working or not, I probably definitely will go get another one of these, just because it does get hot. All right, guys, thanks for stopping by the shop. I hope you heard what you wanted to hear out of them. You'll see a lot of videos where people call it horror freight and horrible freight, and you know, all kinds of other names, but they still go to that store and buy those tools. I don't get it why they want to trash them, but then they go buy them. Even look at my channel history. My highest rating videos are on Harbor Freight. My toolbox is over 1,000, views. I don't have a big channel, so 1,000 views is pretty big to me. So I'm going to start doing a lot more Harbor Freight stuff. It's only 4 miles from me. I'm right outside of town, and it's stone's throw, that way. So I'm there every week. I'm like the norm. They know me by name in there. So hey, again, if you're not subscribed, do me a favor, hit that button and ring that bell. I appreciate it. It does help my channel grow. So appreciate it. We'll see you next time.